We get some water while I'm waiting. Hello, how is everything? How is it going? So I want to talk really quickly about, hello, Miss, is it E.R. Will? Or Will? E.R. Will. But anyway, great. I want to talk about, in order to get rest, certain worlds must come to an end. And I'm talking about this world as we see it. It needs to come to an end. I'm not going to try to find the good in it. I'm not going to like the world, this world as we see it needs to end. This world ends as some people raise their vibration. Some people might be left behind in this particular type of world, and some people are not going to witness it anymore, depending on where they are in their mind. But either way, this whole what you would call a matrix or whatever it's going to eventually be removed, taken away. Because people talk a lot about forgiveness. And yeah, I get they have it wrong, because forgiveness is not for somebody else. Because when you're thinking about just forgiving somebody else, you forgive yourself. But I'm not into what people would call letting somebody else off the hook, because that's really not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is when you get into forgiveness, it's a lot of stuff that's released out of your shadow. Okay, it's a lot of release. It could be a lot of trauma it's a lot of releasing that's happening. It's not really about another person. But the problem with that though, what even makes that hard is that this particular type of realm or consciousness is full of trauma. It's full of trauma. And you can try to dodge it as much as possible, but you got to make sure. It's almost like you have to keep. You almost can't really be in contact with too many people. It's hard not to have trauma when you have a family and when you're in a world that decays. You're in a world that's death. Like, this world is literally death. It's like it's a dead world, and it's hard not to go through trauma. So once you continue to forgive and forgive and forgive, life keeps happening and things keep happening. And it's hard to continue to forgive. It's like it's nonstop. And it has to get to a point where you get some kind of rest from this type of world. And I'm at the point of willing to really sacrifice a whole lot in order for this world to completely die. And the reason why is because this world is not even real in the first place. It's all fake. And I don't want to struggle. I'm not really struggling, but at the same time, it's not like my dream life. And I'm going to tell you why it can't be my dream life, because I'm in constant warfare. This can't be my dream life. It's constant warfare. And yeah, I have a shadow. And so it's really coming from the shadow. But other than the shadow, I actually do have an enemy, which I stated on my last live, titled "Who Really Hates Brown Women?" And I put, YHWH question mark. That is like a real enemy to a lot of people. That entity is a real enemy to a lot of people, and that entity is who is behind creating this particular false world. And that's a rebellious entity that supposedly, according to the Gnostics, came from Sophia. and that entity went rogue, and so that entity built this particular type of fake world, and it's just been downhill from there. The very evil entity. And I posted a short. It was like a short, uploaded a short about how the Old Testament God is in the New Testament God. The Old Testament God and the New Testament God is very much different. It's two different gods. At this point, I'm going to stick to the Gnostic Gospels because I feel like it's been confirmed that everything is the truth. Because I always question the Bible that we have been given, the King James, is that all true? And I've been told time and time again that not everything is true. You might get 60 to 70% some of the stuff that might be true. Not everything is true. Well, I don't want to read anything that has lies in it. Like I don't want to read anything that has lies. So I want to stick to the Gnostic Bible, and I want to go over that. Because we have a shadow, we have, our own demons that we deal with, but it's almost like these things are kind of being inflicted upon a lot of us. They're being inflicted upon a lot of you, and a lot of us. And in order for us to kind of avoid new stuff happening over and over again, it's almost like we have to kind of stay clear of people, because people are carrying a lot of trauma. People are broken. And so it's like, we got to be careful. We got to stay away from people, because you know that saying, hurt people hurt people. And well, I can't take that no more, because I'm already like trying to piece myself back together, so I cannot be around broken people. I need to be around people that are whole. Like, no, I can't be around broken people. I'm going to be the person to say I cannot be around broken people. If I'm trying to piece myself back together because I'm already broken, like Humpty Dumpty, I'm already broken. I can't deal with some other folks that's broken that's going to be trying to tear me apart and rip me apart and then tell me to have tough skin. That's another thing. Let's get rid of this tough skin. Most people are broken here. Most people here are broken. Let's get rid of this tough skin. I get it that you don't want to be a baby and wear your feelings on your shoulder. But this has been a very rough. Well, hell is rough. I mean, this is hell, so it's supposed to be rough, I guess. And see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to. You can have peace in here. But a lot of my peace comes from not dealing with a lot of people, because people carry their own trauma with them, and I can't deal with them if I have my own demons that I'm dealing with. I can't be dealing with other folks. You can't do it, especially when you're dealing with other people that are not trying to better themselves internally. I'd rather use that than say heal, HEAL. I'd rather say heal, better themselves internally, which another person said the word elevate. And when you better yourself internally, you are going to elevate. You're going to higher realms when you better yourself internally. But sometimes that can become rough, because you are under attack by your own shadow that's trying to unalive you. But other than the shadow, there's another enemy that's real. There's another enemy, and it's the one I discussed, the one that Sophia gave birth to, that became rogue. It became a scoundrel. So I just felt like talking about that really quickly, like. That you want to have peace while you're here, but this is not where you want to stay long term. And when I say here, I mean what's in your heart, because really what we witness is what's in our heart, right? And so it's not that a physical world that needs to be destroyed, because it's really no such thing as a physical. It's just a much lower vibration till things became material. So it's a much lower vibration, but it's not like an actual physical world. And so we change our heart, we change the kind of world that we're in. Okay? But see, my issue with that is that some of us do have too many enemies. Some of us really have too many enemies. Some of us have more enemies than others. You have some people that Things are just really going great for them. They're so successful and everything goes great for them. And they might not have enemies, but not necessarily a big one. Like they might have people who are jealous of them, right? They might have people that are jealous of them. I want to use a lady's name, and I don't know anything about her personally. It's just a lady that I've seen lately, and so I want to use her name. Like Stormy Wellington, if you're familiar with her in Atlanta. She is big. She's like big into multi-level marketing. She's like a multi-level marketing mogul. Okay. And, she has a lot of positive things and all this stuff. And, you look at her life and she might have a lot of haters, but Yahweh might not be one of them. Yahweh might actually be her friend. So, yeah, you can have your haters that might want to shoot stuff towards your way. And, yeah, so she probably have haters because of her lifestyle. But it's on another level when your hater is the creator of this crazy world. When that's your hater, that's on a whole different level. And that's when nobody can really talk to me about what I need to do until you have a hater like that. I don't think Stormy Wellington has a hater. I'm using her as an example. I don't have nothing against her. I don't even know enough about her to even say anything. I'm using her as an example because I've seen her clips lately. She's very popular. And, she looks like she meditates. She looks like she exercises. She looks like she eats healthy. So she looks like she puts the work in to keep for the lifestyle that she has. She looks like she's at peace. She looks like she's happy. But the point I'm making is she don't have the same kind of enemies as some of us have. And I'm not trying to minimize whatever she might deal with. But it's like I say, it's one thing to have mere people as your enemy. And it's another thing for this mad creator to be your enemy. That's on a whole different level. And when you have that type of entity as your creator, and that's the entity that created this little crazy world, that has a dome where you can't even get out, and that's the enemy of mine, then I'm not trying to fulfill my dreams up in here. The goal is for this to come down. The goal is for this to come down because that entity is always going to be problematic. Okay, that entity is always going to be problematic. And I can't do anything under this dome with that entity in place because that entity has a problem with me before I even knew anything about it. Like before I can even understand what was going on, that entity was already been after me since I was a baby. Been after me. Okay. And so this is the entity that has constantly picked fights with me. This entity doesn't know who I am. But it doesn't just pick fights with me, so I'm not going to act like I'm the only one. It's anybody who might have a light within them, this entity picks fights with. So I hear other people who call themselves the chosen ones and why chosen ones are going through so much. And like, listen, no, that's not right. Like, listen, you're going because it's time for you to do this and that. Yeah, it's time for you. You might go through something because it's time for you to not be so comfortable in here because you're not supposed to be here. So if you're going through something, then it's only because to make you uncomfortable because this is not where you're supposed to be. But other than that, I don't want to count it a badge of honor that I constantly go through things because, it's to make you stronger. You're here to learn lessons. No, this particular world right here was never supposed to happen. This came from some kind of madman. Okay, this is an entity that went rogue that created this. This wasn't even supposed to happen. And so I don't want to use an excuses. I'm here to learn lessons. No, this thing, this needs to be taken care of. This needs to be taken care of. Now, but I'm going to get off that little topic right there, and I want to move on to this topic of jealousy. People are jealous of you. Let me tell you something. When somebody is jealous of you, And you can't figure out why, and you're the person that keep trying to find a way to appease them and make them feel better about themselves, and so you might want to lessen yourself to make them feel. Don't ever lower yourself for anybody, because if you lower yourself for somebody else, they're going to turn around and gossip about you and talk about, oh, look at what happened. Look, she done hit rock bottom, or he done hit rock bottom. Oh, look at what happened to them. Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? Meanwhile, when you are on top, not necessarily on top, but when you were, doing really well, they had a problem with you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that kind of person, you can't do anything for them. I don't like jealousy. I don't like dealing with jealous people, because people who are jealous can be very deadly. People who are jealous can be very deadly. And there's nothing you can do to make them comfortable, because the reason why they are jealous is because they feel like somewhere within their life they are lacking. And jealousy doesn't always have a lot to do with money. Most of the time when people are jealous of you, it might be more people jealous of me than Beyonce. Let me explain. Yeah, I know she got the life, and I know she got all that, and people want to be her and all that stuff. But you will find there's going to be more people that will turn against you than the biggest pop star. Why is that? Because just because that person is a pop star doesn't mean they have a light in them. It doesn't even mean that doesn't mean they have a soul. See, it's people who have the souls are the ones who seems to be hated the most, and they barely even know anybody. I keep a low profile. I don't even want to know anybody, because it seems like every time I know somebody, after a while, they start acting crazy. It's dangerous. And it's this doggone thing, this entity that don't have a light, that's jealous of other people who have a light. And so, so you have other pop stars or whoever that, they might not even experience the type of jealousy on the level that the person with the light might experience. And so that lets you know it's not always about money that somebody is jealous of you. That lets you know it's not always about money. Okay? You can have somebody who have all the money, not all the money in the world, but who has a lot of money, like a big house, fancy cars, married with children, and turn around and still be jealous of somebody who don't have any of that. Turn around and still be jealous of somebody who don't have any of that. That lets you know that they are empty inside. That lets you know that something is missing on the inside of them, that they are still unfulfilled. And what is keeping them unfulfilled is that they have no soul. They have no light. Okay? Something is missing on the inside of them. Okay? But anyway, so I stay clear of people who are jealous like that, because they can be dangerous people. They can be dangerous people. That kind of person that's jealous of you, they want to see you unalive. Jealousy is a dangerous thing. Jealousy is a very dangerous thing, and that is something I don't want to deal with no envious people, jealous people. I do not want to deal with that, because that's deadly. That turns deadly. I want to talk about this I don't know. I'm not really big on watching mukbangs, because or people, the brown community pronounce it mukbangs, but I say mukbangs because that's how the Koreans originally pronounced it, because the Koreans are the ones that started it, and they pronounced it mukbangs, and the brown community turned it into mukbangs. But I don't really watch them, but I started watching this young girl. She was like a teenager when she first came out. And her channel was called You Wanna Eat, like JUANAEAT. And I started watching her years ago because I used to love to see her do all of those impersonations. And so I thought that was so funny. And she would impersonate B-Love's life. If you ever seen her, she would impersonate Nikocado Avocado. She would impersonate Miriam from It's So Good, Eat with Q, and all the popular people. She would impersonate. And she was so dead on when impersonating these people. And she was just so super talented. And then shortly after that, her and her mother started doing mukbangs together. But they would do a lot of pranks. Right? And all of a sudden this year, I haven't watched like their channel, and I haven't watched any videos from them in like probably over a year. Cause I'm just not really into like looking at people eat food all the time. Like I'm not really into it. Like if they have a message that I want to hear, then sometimes I click on it to hear what they're talking about. But other than that, I don't really care to watch somebody just eat food. Now, if somebody is preparing food, like in the kitchen with Gina Young, like they're actually preparing the food, I want to see what they're doing because I'm going to copy it. So yeah. But other than that, I don't need to watch people just eat. Because it's going to make me hungry, and it's going to, it's going to make me like gain 50 pounds because then I'm going to want to go out and eat everything they're eating, and it's going to make me gluttonous. So I don't like to sit and watch people eat for too long. But I haven't looked at You Wanna Eat and her mom, it's called You Wanna Eat Too, or something like that. And I haven't looked at them in about like over a year or two because, the main channel that I stay on when I look at videos is my Journey into Highest Potential account. And on that particular account, I'm not subscribed to them, okay? And so I haven't seen them. But all of a sudden, I just happened to see a thumbnail from the young lady that was on You Wanna Eat. And she has a page called It's Official M. It's Officially M, or something like that. It's Officially M, right? Young lady. And she was talking about moving out and all this stuff, having to move out of her house in like less than a week, and showed how she got real sick, but her mother still wouldn't budge. She still had to move out in a certain time, and just a whole lot of stuff. She almost didn't have a place to live, and then she, it's just a whole lot of stuff going on. And it seems like if you go into it's called It's Officially M, and just go and listen to her story. A lot of people figured out that her mother might have been jealous of her. That's what I'm getting at. A lot of brown women, young brown girls, their mothers are jealous of them. When I used to look at them do these pranks, and I saw her mother grab her face one time, that don't seem like something you play about. And I was uncomfortable with looking at her mother, and I felt funny about her mother ever since. But I want to say that a lot of girls, but brown women in particular, their mothers are very jealous of them. Not all of them, because you have some good mothers, so I don't want to offend the good mothers, the mothers who do anything for their children. I don't want to offend the mothers who, put in blood, sweat, and tears to do anything for their daughters. I don't want to, offend those mothers. Those are good mothers. So I don't want to offend them. But you have some other mothers that are very, very jealous of their daughters. Okay? And even when this girl from It's Officially M that was on You Wanna Eat, when she used to go to the therapist, when her and her mother used to go to the therapist together, she would talk about how her mother would just be closed off, like she wouldn't open up, she wouldn't say nothing. And I think she talked about how her and her therapist had a private conversation, outside of her mother being in the room. And the therapist said that, I believe your mother is jealous of you. And everybody else can see that her mother is jealous of her. And that is just unfortunate. And that is a huge problem. And here's what I want to say. It could be easy to be jealous of somebody that is very talented, such as this young lady from You Wanna Eat. Her page now is called It's Officially M. She's a very talented young lady. But my thing is this. If you feel like you're getting jealous of somebody, to me, it's because you might not be in your purpose. And I'm speaking this to me as me. If I feel uncomfortable, feel like I'm getting jealous of somebody, I don't like being jealous of people. That's for one thing. I don't like to be jealous of people. But anybody can have like a little bit of jealousy, but not to the point where it's toxic. See, like some people have real toxic jealousy, right? And some people might have like just a little slight, like just a little slight stuff, but it's nothing serious. I think anybody might have experienced some jealousy a time or two in their life. Might have been a little jealous, right? And I feel like when you're jealous of somebody, then that means you're not busy enough in your soul's purpose. Because here's my thing. Here's where I am with my growth. As long as I'm in my soul's purpose and doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm in the purpose of the Most High, right, and I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, there is no reason to be looking at anybody else. There is no reason to be worried about who else is talented or if they're more talented than me. Here's my thing with talents and gifts. You have already been equipped with the gifts you're supposed to have. The people who have gifts, right? Because everybody don't have them. Some people have gifts and they have been destiny swapped. Their energy has been harvested, such as mine, right? Energy has been harvested from people who want to be jealous of me, like my mother and my brother. Harvested while they get rich and I'm like can't complete stuff and all that stuff. Yeah, they harvesting your energy. That's why nothing can ever be complete, because they harvest your energy. They want to take all your gifts and take all your energy and wonder what's wrong with you. One thing I can't stand is for people that are warlocks and witches. This is what I don't respect about them. How you going to do work on somebody and get mad when your work is working? How you going to get mad when your work is working? Now you can't even take accountability for the work you've done. Now, they working too much now these days because I'm aware. It's not because I'm saying I have more magical power than them, but let me just say this. Obviously, I do, because they wouldn't have a reason to take anything from me in the first place. So I'm going to say, obviously, I'm far more powerful than they are. Obviously. Because if I wasn't more powerful than them, they would not have a reason to come after me in the first place. Especially when I haven't done nothing to them. So I'm going to go on and say I am more powerful than they are. I am. And they fear me getting into my power because it's going to mean the end of them. The fact that they have so much fear of me getting back into my power means that I'm far more powerful than they are. They are nothing. It's just what it is. And I'm saying that based on their actions, not based on some experience. Not based on me comparing myself to anybody else. It's based on their actions, and what they did tells me that I have more power than they do. And the only power they have is what they took from me. And once I get my power back, they're going to die because they can't survive without taking some of your families are vampires. Some of your family members are vampires. They're energy vampires. They cannot survive without sucking your doggone energy. You're a soul into this. Let me tell you something. This is a virtual reality. So you can ask yourself, how can a woman, her mother, give birth to a child with a soul if she don't have nothing to herself? Well, because she didn't really give birth to you. It's because this is a virtual reality and everything is fake and nothing really happened in the first place. And that's why you can have a mother who has no soul that want to suck all your energy and you have a soul. It's because she didn't give birth to you in the first place. You've been given all kinds of information and programs to make you think you were born, but it never happened. That's how that happens. Nothing is real. But it's hard to realize that nothing is real when you're busy every day doing nothing and going nowhere fast. And most of the time we're busy every day and going nowhere fast. I would rather be busy in my soul's purpose than to be busy doing something else. I would rather be busy in my soul's purpose than be busy doing everything else just so I can pay my bills. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that the best way not to get jealous of somebody else is to get to a place where you get rid of your ego, or you suppress your ego enough to know that as long as I'm doing what the Most High has told me to do, or I say my soul's purpose. Some people can say the Most High, whatever. As long as I'm doing what the Most High has told me to do, and I'm using the gifts that I'm supposed to be using, then it doesn't matter how gifted or talented somebody else is. That don't have nothing to do with me, because I'm not put here. My soul's purpose is not to do what they are doing. That's not my soul's purpose. So that's why I say the Most High has to be my center, and I'm working on that daily. That's a work in progress. That is a daily doggone type of work right there. Okay? The Most High has to be my center, because I'm not supposed to be looking at nobody else and what anybody else is doing and comparing myself to nobody else. When you're jealous of somebody, you compare yourself to somebody else, and that person has a totally different purpose than your purpose. Looking at somebody else means you took your eyes off the Most High. You are misaligned and ready to go take what somebody else have, but then you can't do nothing with anybody. When I say you, as you know, I'm speaking in general by now. When I say you, I'm speaking in general. Okay? They've taken their eyes off of the Most High, whoever God is to them. People have different gods. It's fine with me, because I'm not one to tell somebody else what they need to believe in. They have taken their eyes off whoever God they serve and put it on somebody else, trying to get their gifts and trying to destiny swap it with them. When they are not the ones, they can't do nothing with this person's gifts, because they were not created to do what that person is supposed to be doing. So why even waste time getting jealous of somebody else when you're created for a totally different purpose? And now some people are only created to go and attack other folks. So some people, their purpose is to just only attack somebody else. That is their only purpose. And I want to talk about that. Their time is up. Their purpose have been served. A lot of these people that they have attacked, it's only made them stronger. And now it's time to move into a new cycle, and their time is up. Their services are no longer needed. They were created to attack some of the people who have souls, that people want to call the chosen ones. And now that those people have become stronger, their time is up. They don't have any other purpose in the world besides to go and attack somebody else. So now they can just go on ahead and die, because they don't have any other purpose in the world. But anyway, I felt like talking about that really quickly. I just felt like talking about a few things. Other than dealing with family members, there's just been a lot of abuse that's happening. Stuff happening with the dreams, trying to come for you in your dreams. This is just too much. And it's all the more for a reason that everything must come to an end, because that's ridiculous. I don't think people realize how bad this abuse is. I don't think people realize how bad this abuse is, where you try to meditate, you pray, or however you do it, I don't care. None of us really have the real answer. I mean, we have an answer. Some of us are enlightened, but we don't have everything, because we're not 100% enlightened, or else we wouldn't be here. But it's almost like you do so much, you fast, you pray, no matter what you do, it's almost kind of attack coming left and right. And it's getting to a point where it's really becoming too much. It's really becoming too much. And I'm going to tell you something. It comes across as other people attacking you, and it's a shadow. But where does a shadow get this information? Because, I've been seeing many times in my mind's eye that my shadow is the one that does this. But where did the shadow get that from? Who programmed the shadow to do these things? Where did that come from? Who programmed the shadow? Because my shadow is a collection of everything that I've been through in this life. And in the previous life, if you haven't settled that, it's a collection of everything you've been through in your previous life too. Or your previous experience, right? Because this is all assimilation. So your previous experience. And so, but where do these programs come from? Because while you are not in really controlling and understanding how to control your destiny, something else is controlling your destiny. And it gets to a point where it's just getting a little bit too abusive. And it's getting to a point where I don't want to make any more excuses for this world about learning lessons and just to make you stronger. Like, no, I don't want to find any more excuses for this thing to continue to be abusive. I don't want to find any more excuses for this particular thing to be any more tyrannical than it already is. Because me keep saying that it makes me stronger and all of this and that. It teaches me lessons, but it's teaching me lessons right now at my lower state so I can get back to where I was before I came here. Before I came here, I knew everything. Right now, I'm in my lesser state. So I'm just getting to the point where I'm remembering everything who I am. But like I said, this world wasn't supposed to take place. It wasn't supposed to happen. So the bottom line is all of this is abusive. This is very abusive, and it should not be any tolerance for it. It should not be any tolerance of this world. You got to get to a point where you expand your conscious awareness to know that there are so much better worlds than this. This is not all there is. You have lower demiurge beings that want you to believe that this is all there is and this is as good as it gets. Because once you rise up, that is going to be the end of them. They're gone. And that's what they don't want. So they have to have you believe that this is as good as it gets. And you have to tolerate it, and all these things just happen to make you stronger. No, because it keeps you in this repetitive cycle. It's time for it to stop. It keeps you in a repetitive cycle. Okay? And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to be gone. Some of us need to just take a break from working and take a break from the world, and some of us need to just take 3 to 4 months off, not working or doing anything, and just to sit back with ourselves. Some of us need to do that. Okay, some of us need to invest in ourselves enough to do whatever we need to do to take at least 3 to 4 months off at a time. Not even to just go, it's good to go out of the country on a vacation, because when you leave the United States, you're going under another consciousness and you're learning more about really who you are. It's just another aspect of you that you're learning about, right? When you go to these other countries or whatever. But you're under another dome, and sometimes these other countries that you may go to, like Costa Rica, is on a higher vibration. And so you're going into a higher vibration in the United States of America. But, but even if you don't do that, it's just good to just take the time off to just to sit with yourself. Okay? But anyway, you guys, I just felt like talking for a little bit, and that is it, I think, for tonight. And I will talk later. Okay.